Hey there all, hope you're doing well today. So I wanted to work on a blaze farm. Now, the only design that I can think of that I've seen from this early of Minecraft is basically the funneling technique is what I would definitely call it. And I somehow that's why, yeah. Uh Basically you have the spawner of the blaze, say, up here. They spawn, and then you have pistons that push the blaze down into a one wide at the bottom. So I'm hoping to be able to do that, but I have no idea how to do it. And I'm not going to go back and look. Wait, is it like this? Do that. No. And I'm not going to go back and look at how it was originally done. I want to try to figure this out on my own. Because they need to hit the pressure plate, they get pushed by the pistons, but to power the piston, we need that. You do that. What if you do this, that? Well, then you need to turn that off. That is the question. I'm missing something. Because in my head, I was originally going with something essentially akin to this, which was just that and that. Wrong one. Which is just that and that. And I was hoping that that would power that, but that's not how that works. This turns on redstone, which then powers. And that is not redstone. So you could do... Would we have to run something behind it? So, for example, glass doesn't work right now the way I want it to, I don't believe. To my knowledge, it doesn't, but maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, it doesn't work. That's fine. Okay. So if we do... I'm curious. If we have this on the ground... No. Okay, so that answers that question. So for example, we have that right there. And we want pressure plate to push the mobs down. So if we get rid of that block, that doesn't seem right. But if we come down here, okay, so that powers that, because that is powering that block, which is powering the redstone. But then this is going to be very convoluted. Come up there and to there. Okay, so that works, but how would I simplify? Wait. Okay, but that's turned on. Because you want to cancel that out, but that's... okay. If you have that right there, technically you could do this, but that's not going to help. Because to do that, you would need to double power, which turns that off. So, and then in theory, what you would do from here, you'd have to go underneath somehow. Yeah. So you'd go there, there, drop a redstone? No. Because that's being canceled out by the torch. Or... because you need to have them spawn above, fall down, land on the plate. But you can't do that if that's extended. So with that, repeater's not going to help here as far as I can figure. Or will it? A mystery's afoot. I really should have a place just to work on redstone. I might actually have a place in mind. And I did actually finish the nether, so that is good to go. But I wanted to mess about with this idea for another farm, or a blaze farm. Technically another farm. Repeater. Yeah, so if we do... I have this space back here that I was thinking of doing for something, but I don't know what. I did also make the skelly farm, so that's how I got the couple of enchanted tools that I have. And I want to find a better way to get down to the skelly farm, but right now I haven't done much with it. But I was thinking of having back here maybe some sort of redstone room. Either way, I'm not going to worry about that right now. Okay, so let's try this again. At the end of the day, that's what we need to have happen. Have it come down to there. You put a pressure plate on there, and then it powers that to come across. But if you do that... okay, so that turns it on. But you need to power this block. No. Yeah, so you need to power... yeah, you need to power that block itself. Or a block behind it. Technically, couldn't we do this? So if we have that down here... but you can't have... because... yeah, well that wouldn't even work. So you can't even have that, never mind. Okay, so end of the day, this is the thing we need. What if we just do this? What if... no? Okay. I was hoping it might carry up, but it's not a revolving thing in that way. And we can't do a torch, because then the mobs can't get there. That makes it kind of difficult. Well, at least I picked something challenging. That's a plus, right? Okay, so... I'm making this way harder than it needs to be, but I really don't want to look up things if I can help it. Because messing around and finding out, I think, is just a better... well, just a more fun way to play. I do want to actually learn how all this works and understand it more, which is gonna be frustrating. And I can imagine that many people won't care for this type of episode, which is fine. I can understand, but I need to understand. Okay, so they land here. I mean, I can do it by Let's just get a freaking shovel. I feel like I'm just like beating my head against a wall. If anything, I might look up certain redstone circuits just to have a rough idea of that, but that's about the extent of what I want to really dive into. The problem becomes, how do we scale this up to farm level? Because that is going to be the issue. Okay. Would it have to be some sort of master switch? Okay, so, what if we do that? Slabs won't help here? No. Not the slabs I have, let's put it that way. Well, actually, hang on, they might. 1 minute. Time for a testorino. Well, it won't help there. No. Yeah, okay, so that's not... That isn't gonna work. Okay. So we need to have this pop when the blaze land on it. Which... If we do this... Okay, if we go down to here... That turns... Yeah. So that can power that. Up here. But that's not going to work. Yeah. As much as I want it to work, it's not going to. So this powers this block, which powers the redstone. Now we can do what we did before and run it back here. Up to here, and then bam, we got it. Never mind. No, we don't. Oh, that's why. It's not directly connecting. Would a repeater help here? Yeah, so that's just going to create like an infinite loop, basically. What if you do this? No. Okay. So I'm going to go away for a little bit and see if I can finagle, understand, mess with this, and see if I can piece together how one might do this in a semi-coherent way. Or at least a way that works. That's all I'm going for. It just needs to work. Literally it. Alright, so I'll bring you back when I have hopefully something. That's the hope. I figured it out. Okay. I'm very happy about this. So, this is hopefully tileable. I think if anything... Is it? Hang on, let's do a quick secondary test. I'm not there. Okay, so if we do this... Alright, so it doesn't work right next to each other. But does it work? Okay. So it works individually, so every other one we can do this. So yeah. Repeater goes in the block powers the redstone powers the piston. So in theory, we can do this for all of the for the blaze farm. Now, is there a way? Yeah, maybe. There might be a way. I don't think this will work, but I'm going to test it. Because in my head, let's explain my thinking. This powers that. That powers the repeater. Repeater does that. But I don't know if that's going to work like that. No. Okay, so it doesn't power that because it can only capture an already existing redstone signal. It doesn't essentially make its own. Maybe? Maybe that's a really bad way to phrase it, but yeah, so that doesn't help. Okay, so at the very least, we have this way. Awesome. I'm pretty sure there's a way to get it to where you can do the entire row. I think the only way to do that would be something akin to how I've done my piston, my farm in the base. So well, yeah, so here, I just want to keep one as an example of what works. So that. All right, so the only way I can see this working in the way that I want it to work, do something like this, and you do that. Okay, so yeah, that works. But I don't really think that's the best option here, just from the fact that I think the individual will just work a bit better. And then we can house all this, surrounding it entirely. So let's see if this works the way I'm hoping it does. And bam. Okay, so barring them landing on top of the thing, piston head, technically, I guess, it should work just fine. I can't really think of how I would do the individual since they're right above each other. And it doesn't make sense to, like, separate them in that way unless we did that. So I think in later updates you can actually either do a line or a, dot of redstone. I could be wrong, but now my thinking right now is that they'll be pushed and then they'll move again. So now it's time to go into the nether and work on the blaze farm. And I'll be just sticking to peaceful mode for now because I just don't feel like dealing with the blazes. Alright, so I need to gather a number of things because I need a lot more pistons. So I'm going to craft all those and then I will see you in the nether. So I realize that this video is getting a little long, so I think we're going to end it here, but I will show you what I've done in the nether at the blaze farm or the blaze spawner so far. I think I'm going to also take the tunnel out to this direction toward the blaze farm, but I'm not 100% sure. So what I have going so far is that we're going to have them obviously spawn wherever, and then hopefully it'll be a nice cascade of things to where they just fall down into here. And then you just boop, and then if they go here, they fall down, and then there's going to be me swiping at their feet.
I see a couple of problems already, and I think once I kind of build some stuff up, I'll be able to figure it out a bit better, but yeah. For right now, I think we're going to leave it, but next time it'll be all about this. And also I'm going for an odd design, I think. Stone brick and some nether brick, because, well, we're already in a fortress, so why not? So yeah, that's what we're going to leave it for today, but hopefully you enjoyed. And sorry if it was not too action-packed, but I'm glad I was able to figure something out with this idea. I just need to figure out how the blazes to put it into practice. So, all right. Thanks for checking it out, and please do take care of yourself. I'll see you in the next one. And thanks for watching.